Hey y'all, I'm Robin Barnes, the New Orleans Songbird, and we are here for the making of Super Bowl 59 at the beautiful Superdome. This will be the 11th Super Bowl in New Orleans. New Orleans is known for its vibrant culture, rich history, and amazing music, if I do say so myself. In this series, we're going to show you how the Super Bowl comes to life. This episode is about the impact of Super Bowl 59 on the hospitality community here in New Orleans. Walt Leger, president and CEO of New Orleans & Company, will talk to us about how New Orleans is uniquely built to host Super Bowl 59. Then, Chef Dickie Brennan himself will share how his restaurant group is preparing for the influx of guests coming for Super Bowl 59. Stay tuned! Hey y'all, we are learning today about New Orleans & Company, learning about the city, learning about the people that basically help produce the Super Bowl. We're here today with Walt Leger, the CEO and president of New Orleans & Company. Walt, thanks so much for being here with us.
Absolutely. Love being with you and excited to talk about the Super Bowl. It's going to be fun.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into it. The impact of this amazing event that's coming to our city. What do you think is going to be one of the largest impacts as far as a footprint with the city?
Yeah, well, so it's the 11th time that we've had this iconic event in our city, and that's a tremendous honor in and of itself because everyone wants to be able to have a Super Bowl in their city, and not everyone gets to. And so I always like to talk about how big of an honor it is for us to have it, but the impact's huge, right? We're in the last time we had this event in 2013, we had close to $450 million impact on the city. So we know that is going to be an even more significant number in 2025 as we roll into it. And so what does that mean? It means an additional investment in infrastructure and all the things that help to make our city a better place to live in and work in, as well as a great place to visit. And so really significant impact from an economic development standpoint, but also long-term impact in some of the infrastructure improvements and other things that are being done to make it a reality. Big investment in the Superdome being renovated, big investment the last few years on renovations at the convention center. And that's to ensure that our city remains built to host these kind of special events. And lots of money being invested all over the country so that those cities can compete for these types of events. So we've got to keep up with that and remember, so that people remember how special of a place this is and how great we are at putting on these kind of events.
That's amazing. So Super Bowl 59, but there's also an amazing anniversary for us with the Superdome. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I think celebrating 50 years of the Superdome being an iconic fixture in our landscape is just something that we should, of course, celebrate. It's even more special for a city like New Orleans. We're a place of progress and preservation and how those things come together, and being able to preserve and invest in a building and keep it significant and competitive for 50 years is no small task. And so give a lot of credit to the people who run and operate the Superdome, and of course the state for its support over the years, and all the folks that have made it sustain itself as one of the best venues in sports. It's a championship venue. The NFL wouldn't be doing this event in our stadium if it wasn't as good as anywhere or better. And for it to stay that way for 50 years, and now I think this will be our 8th Super Bowl in the Superdome itself, that's something that we should, as a community, celebrate. There are other cities that have built and knocked down multiple stadiums in 50-year periods, and so it's only natural that a city like New Orleans that does care about its history and work to preserve and protect it would do the same with the Superdome. So it's definitely something to be proud of as we celebrate this record-tying 11th Super Bowl in our city.
I'm thinking more on when we talk about the history of New Orleans and the fact that there are so many elements that make us so unique. What are some other things that you feel are special about New Orleans compared to other cities?
Well, you can start with the history, and you think about the diverse background of people who have come together in this community and sort of over time made it what it is. And that shows up in our music. It shows up in our food. It shows up in just the way that we all interact and live together in this community. But when I think about major events in the city, the thing that really separates us is just the structure of our city. So, the walkability of New Orleans compared to other Super Bowl cities and compared to other major cities, we are just in a different league. We have 26,000 hotel rooms in a 2-mile triangle between the convention center, the Superdome, and the French Quarter that allows everyone to sort of celebrate these types of events together. And it's why we have amazing conventions and conferences and meetings, but it's particularly impactful for concerts and for championships like this and the Sugar Bowl and the Super Bowl and the Final Four. You know, I mean, being able to just walk from one place to the next and be able to entertain, go into these world-class venues, great restaurants, great bars, great places to celebrate, and then be a part of the tailgating experience and everything else. I mean, it's just not possible in other places to be that compact and to be in this campus-like environment. So, you know, when you're at an event like this in New Orleans, you know that you're a part of something. You're not spread out. You're not having to travel for 45 minutes to get to the event and then get back to your hotel. It's a unique advantage we have. And, you know, we need all the help we can get. We're a relatively small city. And these other cities that we compete with are much more substantial from a population standpoint, and oftentimes from a corporate presence standpoint. You know, we have a single Fortune 500 headquarter here in New Orleans. Other cities have 14, 15, 22, and sometimes the populations of those cities are more than twice the population of our whole state. And so the fact that we're tying for the most that have ever been held in any city is really remarkable when you're competing with other massive economies and massive cities and states. So another thing I think we should be proud of is how well we compete and how we win and have these events in our community. They're really impactful.
I love our city. I do. So Walt, tell me, how many visitors are we expecting to come to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, so the Super Bowl experience is about a week long. And so towards the beginning of the week, we'll begin to see an influx of media visitors coming in. We expect 6,000 credentialed media to be in town covering this event from all over the world. And so it's one of the most heavily covered events out there. Great opportunity for us to be able to continue to tell all the special stories about the things that are happening in our community and the people who make that happen. So that's really exciting. We're expecting, 200,000 people over the course of a few days to be here. No big deal.
No big deal.
Just a couple 100,000. And some of those will stay with us in hotels, and a lot of those will drive in from regional areas to be able to be a part of it. We have really cool events happening at the Superdome in the beginning of the week with the kickoff on Monday night. The NFL experience will be ongoing throughout the week over at the convention center. Those are two really accessible events for people in our region to be a part of. And, of course, you've got all the other events surrounding the Super Bowl itself and the, tens of thousands of people who will be here specifically to attend the game and events surrounding it. So it's going to be a busy time for us and an exciting time.
So how does New Orleans Company ensure that all the smaller businesses are getting highlighted?
Yeah, we, our website does a lot of work for us. And so we push people towards our website, but also our social channels to be able to promote the things that are happening in the community. The thing about a Super Bowl is it's so significant and it's so big and the corporate interest is so intense that there are events everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so every hotel in our city is sold. Every hotel room is sold. Oh, so wow. Every hotel, big and small, is a part of it and a big part of it. I've got people calling me now looking for hotel rooms, and we're calling everyone and asking, and it's too late. Things may open up here and there, but like the rooms are sold. Our big hotels are a part of it, and they help us to attract the event because you've got to lock in media, and you've got to lock in the teams, and you've got to lock in the NFL and some of the key corporate sponsors. But beyond that, everyone gets a piece of that action. Same with the restaurants. We have a variety of different itineraries and guides that we're promoting through our website and through our other channels. But again, like there are people calling and saying, I need to have a dinner for 11 people. Where should that be? And we're directing them to the site where they can find all of the different opportunities. And that is an event of this scope just is a great fit for our community because everyone gets to be a part of it. There really isn't any corner of the city that's not needed to be able to accommodate such a large influx of people who are looking to host the kind of events that they're looking to host. And so there'll be a lot of economic benefit to go around. And, that's why we're here. We want to bring people to our community for the benefit of our community and to create economic opportunity for people who live here and to and drive impact. And an event like this really does it. It takes us all to get prepared for it, to be able to host it, but ultimately it's for the benefit of our community and the ability to promote on such a big stage just has legs that go on and give us an opportunity for years to come to talk to people about why our city is so uniquely built to host these types of events and many others. So really exciting time for New Orleans to get ready for a really important event.
Well, we are just speaking with Walt Leger about what is so special about New Orleans and all the fact that the detail, the love that you guys put in highlighting what makes New Orleans special, which is the people, the businesses. Y'all are doing an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to all these people coming to visit us. So thank you so much, Walt. We appreciate your time, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you. We have an amazing team that works day in and day out to make it a reality, and we're really excited to have this event. It will set us up for future success, and also we'll have a really good time doing it. So thank you.
Hey, y'all, we are here at the beautiful Palace Cafe with the Dickie Brennan, owner and chef and restaurateur, one of the legends of New Orleans. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Dickie.
That's very nice of you, Robin.
I do not lie. I do not lie.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Beautiful day.
It's such a beautiful day and a beautiful spread, so thank you for that.
That's what we love doing.
So while we're getting started, what are y'all doing to prepare for Super Bowl 59?
You know, I mean, there are not many cities that have hosted the amount of Super Bowls that New Orleans has. So I think we're pretty prepared. We always want to take it to another level. And that's kind of the focus right now. I mean, we're doing some fun, exciting things around the city, and we're going to be ready. Believe me, we will take it to the next level again, like we do every time.
So I have no doubt about that. What do you recommend to other restaurants that are preparing for this surge of people coming in for the Super Bowl?
You know, for someone who hadn't experienced one before, it definitely fits in the category of a Mardi Gras, of a convention, or, it's all hands on deck. And you always have a little calm before a storm. So get ready, because once it's here, it's coming, it's going to hit us hard. And 3 or 4 days later, we'll be cleaning up and getting ready for the next event in New Orleans.
That's so true. I mean, I feel like our city is always go, go, go. There's another event. But for a event this size, how do you recommend keeping that quality of food and service with so many people coming?
Yeah. I think, restaurants in this city are used to these events. And, you get prepared on the beginning of it because it's a little slow. And then everybody rests up. And then we call it all hands on deck. And, we know it. We know it's coming. We get prepared. And, you roll. I think New Orleans is internationally known. Around the world, people know New Orleans. That's what we do. I'm so proud of the events that we host in the city, because we've got a lot of practice, and we've got a real veteran professional team that knows how to win Super Bowls in the restaurant industry. So we're there. We'll be ready.
So Dickie, now I'm biased. I feel like you are as well as we are New Orleanians, but what do you feel makes New Orleans so unique compared to other cities that are hosting Super Bowls?
One, we're in America. There are not many 300-year-old cities. So we have this wonderful neighborhood called the French Quarter, 27 blocks, but it's one of the most historic neighborhoods in America, if not the most historic. And it just has this generation after generation, all the different people that have come to this city. We refer to our gumbo as you put all these wonderful things in a pot together, and then what comes out is this magnificent creation. That's New Orleans. And we've been, so we have the history. The other thing is we're a big, small city. I mean, we're not 1 million people. But we have everything a big city has: professional sports, convention center, So I like the fact that we're a smaller city, but we're internationally known. I mean, everybody around the world knows this city. I would say, if you ask what are some of the most recognized streets in the world, Bourbon Street would be up there in the top 10. That's pretty amazing.
Definitely.
And the logistics, you can walk from where all the entertainment, restaurants, hotels to the Superdome. You know, we rarely drive there. We all go everywhere we need to go. So it's we're set up to host these type of events, and I think we all feel like, look, we've been doing it for generations. It's our turn. We're all watched. What are we going to do to take it to the next level? And we're always trying to take it to the next level.
You said it perfectly. This area is so large, but at the same time, it's still a small town. So you can be at the Superdome, at the Super Bowl, and then take a quick brisk walk to the restaurant that you made your reservations to. And it's so conveniently located. That is something that's so unique about New Orleans.
One year I was trying to get from our restaurant on Bourbon Street, Bourbon House, and I was trying to get to gonna walk to the Superdome, but I was a little late. And I walk out, and it's where there's always a bunch of pedicabs. So I look, pedicab driver, I'm like, can you get me down? They're like, I said, give me a minute. I go back in the restaurant, I get a bottle of wine, we get in the pedicab, and boom, that's a great tip. Because in New Orleans, you can take to-go drinks, right? So if you don't want to walk the 5 blocks, get a pedicab, get a bottle of wine or a big drink, and
go.
Just roll.
Enjoy the sights on the way.
That's the way we roll in New Orleans, right?
Always about being present but having a plan. So Dickie, tell me, what are the must-have dishes when someone's coming to one of your restaurants? Like we are here today at Palace Cafe.
You know, it's what's in season here in New Orleans because we have the best natural resources. Mississippi River, the most fertile fish grounds in the world. So if it's the time of the year where our blue crabs are running, I want crab meat. But when they're out, this thing called crawfish are in season. So our menus always have what's in peak season. Creole tomatoes are our summer vine-ripe tomatoes. So, I mean, that's what you're going to find here is we always have something that's in peak. You know, we farm year-round. So definitely the seafood. You know, we have our sandwiches here, the poor boys. It's a unique bread. Every town has unique bread. I think our French bread makes the best sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we call them poor boys. But, you know, it's really about what's in season. Some dishes that people just flat out love. This is a crab meat cheesecake that became very popular.
It is beautiful.
At Palace Cafe. So it's kind of a newer, but going back in time, you know, it's the shrimp creoles, it's the sauce piquant, it's jambalaya, gumbo. I mean, we have the seafood gumbos, but then we have a gumbo yaya, which is smoked chicken and smoked andouille sauce.
Mm.
You know, this time of year we're running duck gumbo. So, I mean, the gumbos are great. And then there's a thing called banana foster.
Never heard of it.
Which, you know, in the restaurants, they come up tableside and flambe beautiful bananas with, we do homemade ice cream, vanilla ice cream. And it's simplicity at its best, but people love it. And to watch it, to be in a restaurant and to see it, and then the aroma, it just, I don't know, it creates memories for people, and you don't forget it. And it's like, I'm either doing it, you know, this week, or for people, I'm coming to town, I've got to go get my banana foster. So
I will say it is one of my most favorite desserts in the world. And it is a core memory for me because my family would come probably for my birthdays, and that would be the one thing that I would always love. And I was just like the fire, the experience, and honestly, the beautiful tradition of what even your family has created. It spans apart with the New Orleans as a culture. You know, even as a performer, I always focus on the experience. It's not just about singing. It's about making people have that core memory, making people feel moved. And y'all do it so beautifully with your restaurant, in your food, everything from the beautifulness of the dishes, how they're laid out, the intricate pieces of what makes New Orleans so beautiful is what y'all do beautifully as well. So thank you so much for being with us, and I hope you don't mind. I am ready to eat.
Wow, sure. Bon appetit.
The host committee would like to thank our founding partners, Entergy and Chevron. Our sponsors. Each of these companies plays an integral role in the overall success of the New Orleans Super Bowl host committee. We couldn't do it without you.